Rudeus Greyrat finds himself in a precarious situation as he recounts his escape from a terrifying creature, his fear palpable. At just 7 years old, Rudeus is reeling from an earlier life as an unemployed recluse. Reincarnated into a new life, he is determined to make the most of it, working hard to craft a future with purpose and meaning. Now, he lives with his new parents and is preparing for a fresh chapter at a magic academy, a plan that demands he first earn the necessary funds. This requires tutoring the daughter of a noble family. Rudeus arrives in the bustling city of Roa, nervous yet eager to fulfill his role as a tutor. Alongside his mentor, Ghislaine, he observes the city's grandeur. The surroundings give a sense of the impressive social hierarchy and lifestyle of the nobility. Introduced to the imposing Soros Boreas Greyrat, Rudeus faces the fierce retort of an angry lord who dismisses him outright. Soros is blunt, unimpressed by Rudeus's apparent inability to represent himself properly. Rudeus is aware of the subtle manipulations at play, especially those connected to the powerful Boreas family. When he meets Philip, the family's wealthy heir, he receives a more measured response. Philip suggests a plan to help Rudeus connect with the fiery young mistress, Eris Boreas Greyrat, who is known for her explosive personality. The objective is to capture her attention enough to begin effective tutoring. Rudeus's first encounter with Eris, a fierce girl with a fiery temper, doesn't go well as his attempts at diplomacy result in a tumultuous clash. Eris is quick to anger and not afraid to express it physically, a trait she shares with her grandfather. The meeting spirals swiftly into chaos as Rudeus struggles to hold his ground. In the aftermath, traumatized by Eris's violent reception, Rudeus is pushed into concocting a plan to teach Eris a valuable lesson. He intends to give her a taste of powerlessness, hoping it leads to the cultivation of empathy and understanding within her. Rudeus strategizes a mock kidnapping, expecting to position himself as her rescuer. Despite his nerves, he feels this may be his only chance to bond with her before taking on his role as her tutor in earnest. Executing his audacious strategy, Rudeus finds himself in an abandoned storehouse with Eris. But their scripted ruse veers dangerously off course when real danger surfaces in the form of a violent thug. What was supposed to be an educative experience descends into genuine peril. Eris, initially fooled by the fake captivity, begins to understand the severity of their predicament. The thug's merciless demeanor confirms the reality: Rudeus and Eris are in genuine trouble. Struggling to maintain control of the situation, Rudeus faces the fearsome kidnapper. Eris's tough exterior cracks as she calls out desperately for help. Rudeus feels the weight of responsibility, knowing he's the only one who can protect them. Using his magic, he heals Eris's injuries, an act of care that surprises her. Her usual bravado falters in the face of real pain and vulnerability. In the tense surroundings of the storehouse, Rudeus remains conscious of Eris's eyes on him. The weight of this unexpected alliance hangs in the air, the noble girl seeing him perhaps for the first time, not as an adversary or tutor but as a comrade in adversity. But still, he worries about the escalating situation and what awaits them beyond those confining walls. As Ghislaine draws nearer, responding to Eris's cries, there is hope on the horizon. Yet Rudeus knows they aren't out of danger yet. The looming threat of their captor urges him to brace for the struggle ahead, setting the stage for what will be a decisive moment in his young life's journey. The tension is palpable as Philip, the young mistress's father, grapples with the current situation. Contemplating if they should demand ransom or sell the captives, the possibility of heading to a neighboring country is considered. Rudeus, amidst the chaos, ponders how to rescue the young mistress from her captors. Returning to the scene, Rudeus crafts a meticulous plan. He first prepares by solidifying the door's stability using earth magic. Then, with a deft touch of fire magic, he melts the iron bars, effectively creating a single point of egress, a calculated move to control the captor's approach. Inside the room, the young mistress is terrified. Rudeus approaches gently, whispering instructions, and she nods in agreement. Promise not to scream, he urges, emphasizing Ghislaine's involvement if things go awry. She solemnly nods, comprehension and fear shining in her eyes. With resolve, they escape into the unfamiliar town, evading any initial confrontation. Rudeus remains wary, being 2 cities away from Roa, they blend in with the town's inhabitants. However, the particulars of the stagecoach's arrival complicate matters. The young mistress's anger resurfaces, irritated at the new reliance on Rudeus. "I'm not your servant," he reminds gently, trying to quell her disapproval, focusing on their disguise and eventual escape. Eventually, they reach the stagecoach area. Spotting angry men in pursuit, Rudeus becomes aware that their escape is precariously on the edge of disaster. The young mistress and Rudeus rapidly board a stagecoach, their pursuers hot on their trail, tension simmering between them. Their escape turns into a chase as they successfully arrive in a new town under the guise of calm, though anxiety gnaws at them. The young mistress, unable to sleep, startles at any sound. Understanding grows between Rudeus and her, as she struggles to accept their precarious predicament. Upon reaching ROA, Rudeus's vigilance falters briefly. In those split seconds, the young mistress is captured again by the same group, prompting a relentless pursuit. As Rudeus gives chase, magic pulsates through the air, building barriers and slowing the kidnappers. A fierce encounter ensues. The bandits, unrelenting, face off against Rudeus's increasing magical prowess. His preparation is clear: strategic stone and fire magic keep the bandits at bay. Suddenly, the cavalry arrives, revealing Ghislaine clad in battle anticipation. Her presence shifts the battle's momentum. The confrontation ends with Ghislaine's intervention, securing the young mistress's safety. Debriefing after the confrontation, Rudeus is left with the chilling understanding of true life and death stakes in this world. The young mistress's relief is tangible as they vow a return home. Upon arrival, tensions ease somewhat. The young mistress, though relieved and safe, doesn't outwardly express gratitude, her noble pride still intact. Rudeus officially becomes her tutor, his efforts acknowledged. In the aftermath, an internal dialogue reveals complex familial politics and intentions behind the kidnapping. Thomas, the butler, manipulated the situation for his benefit, intertwining noble rivalries and financial desires, all predicated on the young mistress's fate. Rudeus, unwittingly, played a significant role in thwarting these plans. As Rudeus integrates as Rudeus Greyrat's tutor, challenges arise in the form of decorum and familial interaction. Philip's forceful demeanor in addressing demands showcases the underlying tension as he and Eris's grandfather discuss alliances and expectations. Underneath, Rudeus's astute observations reveal adaptation and understanding in a precarious noble world. With a month as Eris's tutor, Rudeus begins to comprehend the intricacies of his new charge. Eris exhibits talent in combat but displays no interest in traditional studies, a challenge Rudeus anticipates, aiming to overcome with creativity and resolve. Eris's fiery nature becomes a teaching obstacle, similar to her inability to be tamed easily by past tutors. Awareness of this struggle leads Rudeus to exploit magic in their lessons, seeking new methods to engage her intellect alongside her combat prowess. At the stables one day, Rudeus finds Eris unconscious, her sleeping face angelic despite her infamous temper. Such moments highlight the dichotomy within Eris, the contrast between her youthful vulnerability and fiery defiance. Rudeus realizes patience will be his greatest ally as he continues navigating life and teaching in this tumultuous new world. Rudeus, full of curiosity and reflecting on recent moments, decides it's best to keep Eris covered to prevent her from catching a cold. His inner thoughts humorously assess her potential for growth in a rather comedic fashion, nodding to a hopeful future with, "Thank you, wise old sage." In his effort to wake Eris up, Rudeus finds himself caught up in a humorous struggle as Eris snaps awake, her eyes filled with anger. "Grr," she exclaims, her temper flaring instantly at his clumsy attempt to adjust her clothing. After an awkward moment, Eris loses her balance, falling upon Rudeus, adding to the chaos of the morning. Later, as breakfast unfolds, Rudeus finds himself intrigued by Ghislaine's past. She opens up about her time with Eris's grandfather, the Sword King, and shares tales of her previous companionship with others in their adventuring group. The tales reveal how her team was once comprised of a warrior, swordsman, magician, and priest. They seemed a well-balanced group, handling multiple adventures together. Ghislaine's eyes sparkle with a mix of nostalgia and pride as she recounts: a warrior, a swordswoman, a magician, a priest, and a thief. Reflecting on their adventures, it becomes evident how much those times impacted her. Despite being labeled a thief, Ghislaine clarifies, most came from merchant families. As the conversation proceeds, Rudeus discovers the intricacies of Ghislaine's sword style. Many different styles exist, but this one is special, she notes, delving into the art behind her swift and precise movements. This newfound knowledge encourages Rudeus to reflect on his own progress and aspirations. Rudeus and Ghislaine then engage in teaching Eris arithmetic. A sharp and fiery exchange occurs as Eris, frustrated with division, exclaims, "Why is division necessary?" Her struggles and determination unfurl before them, and ultimately, Ghislaine offers a compelling story about getting lost in a labyrinth, illustrating the importance of division. This leads to a breakthrough as Eris acknowledges its value. Training resumes, with Ghislaine meticulously correcting Rudeus's posture and technique. She challenges him and Eris to focus precisely, honing in on their abilities. Through each clash of wooden swords, Rudeus learns the necessity of quick thinking and adjusting on the fly. Despite setbacks, his resolve strengthens. With Ghislaine's oversight, Rudeus reflects on the balance between swordsplay and magic. Ghislaine describes a Sword King level as one where mastery and understanding blend to create unparalleled ability. If you master the essentials, you should be able to apply them in any situation. The mentors continue pushing Eris and Rudeus, shaping them into finer warriors. Rudeus recognizes the extraordinary potential within himself, encouraged by Ghislaine's guiding hand. He feels a mix of excitement and pressure as he contemplates his goals and ambitions. A half-year passes, bringing rhythm and routine into their lives. Eris, who showed early signs of maturity, continues her studies fervently. Rudeus, meanwhile, crafts a new lesson schedule to ensure she has ample time to absorb her lessons pleasantly. Venturing into the city, Ghislaine and Eris accompany Rudeus on his exploratory journey. Eris's fiery spirit shines through as they engage in simple mathematics at the marketplace. Her misunderstandings provide moments of laughter and learning for all. As Rudeus patiently guides her, he utilizes every opportunity to impart useful life lessons. Together, they visit a bookstore, each find enlightening material reflecting their interests. "Don't worry. I'm not purchasing anything." Rudeus reassures Eris with a grin, even as he yearns for the knowledge bound within those coveted tomes. Eris's presence adds vibrant energy to their explorations. Her lively interactions amidst the stalls and merchants capture the blossoming camaraderie and shared growth amongst their small group. Their bonds growing stronger, Rudeus realizes that despite challenges, their journey together has been deeply rewarding. He reflects on their shared experiences with gratitude, knowing that every step forward is taken together, fortified by their shared adventures and the lessons taught by a master swordswoman. As the sun begins to set, Rudeus walks through the quiet streets with Eris. They have just left a bookshop, where Eris, known for her fiery temper and straightforward manner, expressed a desire for a book. She is frustrated that Rudeus didn't have the money to buy it, despite their noble standing. Rudeus explains, "I don't have much money right now, and besides, it's not that simple." Eris protests, her feelings as clear as the afternoon sky. "If you say that so easily, but you don't have any money, do you?" she huffs. Rudeus can see she wants the book for a deeper reason than mere fancy. It represents something just beyond her reach, a tangible truth about her own independence. As they continue walking, Rudeus reflects on the situation. Ghislaine, who is protecting them as their bodyguard, had already paid the hefty tuition for his education at the University of Magic. He's grateful for this opportunity, which would allow him to grow and learn as a magic user. Still, it makes money tight. His allowance doesn't stretch as far as supporting additional whims. They soon gaze at the sky, Rudeus pointing out to Eris the sight of a floating castle, its silhouette hanging among the orange clouds. Intrigued, Rudeus wonders aloud if others can see it too, but Ghislaine informs them that it is the armored dragon King Perugia's floating fortress, Chaos Breaker. The floating castle is a reminder of legends and tales of old, a place of historical significance that calls on warrior and magician alike. After spending an evening contemplating these grander things, Rudeus and Eris return home. Eris' education is making steady progress. Her swordplay reaches intermediate tier just before her 10th birthday, a feat that showcases her natural talent and the tireless training under Ghislaine. Not only is she capable in combat, but her reading and writing have also made strides, albeit with great effort and stubborn determination. The events continue, leading up to Eris' 10th birthday, a day that traditionally holds high significance for a child of noble descent. Philip, Eris' father, had requested emphasis on etiquette lessons, and Rudeus finds himself honored to be a part of the preparations despite not having the official role of a tutor within the household. On the day of the celebration, Edna, one of the maids, requests Rudeus' help with a special task. She explains Eris' struggles with a dance routine intended for her birthday, a source of frustration and embarrassment for the fiery young girl. "I think you'll be able to persuade her for me," Edna suggests with a kind but knowing smile. There is an understanding, an unspoken bond of trust that has developed between Rudeus and Eris, built over months of shared learning and challenges. Understanding the weight of such a request, Rudeus approaches Eris, who is initially resistant. She refuses to dance, feeling only the heavy burden of repeated failures despite her otherwise strong will. They speak candidly on the topic, Rudeus encouraging her by promising, "I'll help out too. Why don't you give dance practice one more chance?" Motivated by his sincerity, Eris gives in at last, allowing Rudeus to accompany her as they practice. Together, they stumble through steps, finding humor in the mishaps and solace in one another's presence. When the music plays, the rhythm feels off, not quite in sync, yet they continue undeterred. Eris' fierce character shines through, her laughter a melodious sound rising above any perceived failure. With the birthday dwindling into night, the day closes on a tender note. Rudeus, reflecting on Eris' growth, acknowledges the complexities of their world, both magical and mundane, the legacies of the past and the hopes for the future interweaving through each experience. Eris' fierce independence, her vulnerabilities, and their sincere camaraderie remain constant, creating a makeshift family within the expanse of the manor. In the stillness that follows, Rudeus remains hopeful for the road ahead, cherishing the moments that have forged a bond that guides them through the remnants of legend and the ordinary cadence of their lives. Rudeus ventures to explore the mysterious tower Eris warned him about, curious about its secrets. He ascends the spiral stairs, feeling the magnitude of the tower's height pressing down on him. There, he unexpectedly encounters Soros. The elderly man greets him warmly and inquires about his visit. Rudeus, caught off guard, admits he was praying to the god of openings, silently fearing the possibilities that lay with his growing powers and his desire for adventure. Soros mentions the gem Rudeus found before and dismisses any notions of it being a magical artifact, reassuring Rudeus it was just an ordinary item. Rudeus is relieved, as it shows him that not everything extraordinary is dangerous. They share a moment of quiet understanding, until a somber note creeps in about Eris's mother. Soros informs Rudeus that she's passed away, evoking a sense of sadness in the air. The narrative then shifts gears to a more educational tone, as Rudeus deepens his understanding of the world's history. Rudeus delves into a new book, tracing back the ancient civilizations and the progression of the world through different eras. The human-demon wars and the rise and fall of empires over millennia paint a picture of a tumultuous but richly woven history leading to the present day. Eris, meanwhile, shows considerable growth after her 10th birthday. She becomes more disciplined, taking her studies seriously under Rudeus's guidance. Her behavior improves significantly, much to the relief and satisfaction of those around her, including Rudeus. Fascinated by languages, Rudeus decides to learn the demon god tongue. With the unexpected arrival of a package from Roxy containing a textbook on the language, he's thrilled to see her support. Her message carries wisdom and warmth, urging him to persevere in his studies. Ruge's motivation surges as he dives into this daunting task of language acquisition, realizing the journey is fraught but necessary for his goals. Meanwhile, Ghislaine reflects on her role in young Eris's education. She's impressed by how Rudeus teaches Eris arithmetic and magic, seeing qualities reminiscent of her former master, a divine-tier swordsman. Ghislaine's admiration for Rudeus is tinged with an understanding of his growing complexity and potential. She notices his blend of humility and arrogance that hints at future greatness. There's a heartfelt moment where Ghislaine ponders her connection to Rudeus, seeing parts of Paul's adventurous spirit in him. The bond between the three characters, Rudeus, Eris, and Ghislaine, grows as they navigate their challenges together, each contributing to the other's growth. For Eris, her strides in academic and physical training uplift her. Though still young, she begins showing glimpses of maturity, partly influenced by Rudeus's teaching and partly by Ghislaine's martial guidance. She becomes focused on her sword training, seeing the discipline and dedication required to excel. In moments of introspection, Ghislaine acknowledges the transformative effect Rudeus and Eris have had on each other. Rudeus's maturity contrasts with his younger outlook, but his continued hard work in learning languages shows an adult-like resolve that impresses Ghislaine. She sees the potential for Eris to reach centier in swordcraft if she maintains her dedication, hinting at Eris's promising future if she continues on her present path. As Rudeus turns 10, a milestone marked by progress in his language and magic studies, he feels a nostalgic pang, realizing 2 years have passed since his rebirth in this world. His dedication has already sparked significant change in his companions and himself, and the narrative promises more adventures and growth on the horizon. As Rudeus approaches his birthday, the atmosphere in the manor is charged with anticipation. Eris, in particular, seems unusually eager, sparking curiosity in Rudeus. He wonders if there's a special surprise planned, perhaps involving a fiancé or some formal announcement. His curiosity gets the better of him, and he investigates, leading him to overhear Eris mentioning that a big event is in the works. Later, Ghislaine asks Rudeus for extra training, hinting at something more substantial than a simple celebration. Using magic, Rudeus feels they should test those abilities and agrees. The training is intense, highlighting the unique dynamic between Rudeus and Ghislaine. As the day unfolds, Rudeus finds himself reflecting on what the big surprise could be, especially since Eris orchestrated it. He feels both anxious and eager as hints of a party begin to surface. The speculation indicates that someone wants him to have a special day in a way he's never experienced before, filled with genuine warmth and care. When the evening arrives, Rudeus enters the dining hall to unexpected applause. Family members and guests shower him with congratulations and gifts, and he struggles with the overwhelming attention. He feels awkward but deeply appreciates the effort, especially the feasts and decorations orchestrated by Eris. Philip, Soros, and Hilda all play their parts in the event, adding layers of sophistication and dignity to the affair. Eris presents Rudeus with a special gift, a wand named Aqua Hirtia. This thoughtful gesture encapsulates the care and consideration behind the celebration. Despite its almost comically grandiose name, Rudeus accepts it with gratitude, recognizing both the value and the sentiment behind it. Amidst the evening's celebrations, Rudeus is reminded of Eris's support and what her companionship has come to mean to him. However, lurking beneath the surface, familial issues and legacies create tension. Philip's restrained demeanor and the reminder of past familial decisions cast a shadow over the affair, hinting at deeper dynamics at play. After the festivities, as the night unwinds, Rudeus heads back to his room, surprised to find Eris waiting for him in a dazzling red negligee. This unexpected encounter leaves Rudeus taken aback. Despite the apparent maturity of her attire, Eris exudes a youthful innocence, and her intentions are quickly revealed as more playful than serious. The interaction with Eris stirs complex feelings in Rudeus. He wrestles with the blurred lines between childhood innocence and budding maturity. Moments of tension give way to mutual understanding as Eris ultimately teases Rudeus for his earlier faux pas. Their bond is tested but ultimately strengthened by their clear communication and mutual respect. In the end, Rudeus learns more about familial expectations, personal growth, and the unique relationships he's formed in this world that is so different from his past life. The chapter closes on Rudeus looking forward to the future, as Eris's simple farewell makes him ponder what lies ahead. He embraces the comfort of companionship, carefully maneuvering through youthful passion and promises for tomorrow. Roxy Magonote stares out the window, her mind a whirl of questions as she beholds the sky's unusual color, a remarkable hue she had seen somewhere before. Her thoughts drift back to a time at the University of Magic, where a summoning had once bathed the sky in a similar, strange glory. Now here it was again, unmistakable and inexplicable. Meanwhile, she finds herself in an unfavorable predicament, groped by the seventh prince, an unpleasant character who has taken a fancy to her. However, her thick robes prevent his advances from bringing her any real discomfort, just annoyance. Despite his awkward attempts at seduction, Roxy remains disdainful. She remembers her duty and acknowledges that accompanying a prince means handling such situations with tact. The prince, however, remains oblivious to her disinterest. He sarcastically accuses her of having a lover, convinced of some romantic competition, but Roxy rebuffs him. Instead, all thoughts relate back to Rudeus, a respected pupil who could never comprehend the predicament she now endures. The prince then takes a more dangerous turn, suggesting wild plots against the Boreas family and even assassination. Roxy, seasoned and wise, knows the impossibilities of his schemes and ignores them. But the prince continues unabated, driven by the blind ambition only a royal can afford. Amidst this chaotic exchange, Roxy receives suspicious letters. The prince attempts to leverage them to exert control over her but quickly learns that she is unfazed. She even graciously acknowledges how he unwittingly provided a path for her upcoming travel plans. Tired of his antics, she decides it's time to move on. As she departs, she ponders the enigmatic connection and the anomaly in the sky. Fast forward to the red-scaled peaks of the dragon god Orsted's domain. Orsted, with his stoic demeanor, perceives the sky's change, recognizing it as a significant disturbance. Unbeknownst to the world, such anomalies are rare, hinting at profound shifts in power that can alter the course of fate itself. Elsewhere, the armored dragon Perugius perceives the sky's transformation from his floating fortress. His loyal retainers stand alert, ready to mete out justice should any threat reveal itself. Perugius, always calculating, wonders if the great villain of his time might have revived to wield chaos anew. At the Sword Sanctum, the sword god Gaul-Phalion displays indifference to the celestial phenomena. Surrounded by his pupils, he focuses instead on the tactical aspects of swordplay, imparting lessons that prioritize mastery over fleeting concerns. On the contrary, in the demon continent, Kishirika Kishirisu, the great emperor of the demon world, finds herself puzzling over the sky. Recognizing its familiarity, she suspects powerful magic at play but remains unsure of its source. Regally arrogant, Kishirika muses on the implications, aware that great forces are afoot, reshaping destinies. Back to the citadel of Roa, Rudeus Greyrat tests a new staff gifted by Sword King Ghislaine. With Eris at his side, he marvels at how efficiently it channels mana, reducing his spell-casting effort. As they practice, they see the sky's peculiar color and wonder about its cause. Despite their curiosity, Rudeus continues his magical experiments until a sudden interruption forces them to attention. An attack swiftly follows, an assault so sudden that it nearly overwhelms them. Ghislaine detects it first, demonstrating her swift battle prowess, yet even she is barely able to counter the threat. Their assailant, identified as Aramanfi the Bright, reveals intentions concerning Rudeus. Amidst the melee, the sky continues its transformation, culminating in a blinding light that engulfs the region in an instant, erasing everything. In a heartbeat, the Fitoa region vanishes, leaving behind only empty space where life once flourished. Rudeus, caught in the cataclysm, shields Eris and Ghislaine with his body, the moment etched into memory. 6 months pass in the aftermath of the Fitoa region's disappearance. Roxy returns to a desolate landscape, shocked by the uncanny destruction. As she journeys through the refugee camp, she overhears tales of what occurred, that people vanished, scattered across distant lands, separated without trace. Reflecting on the events, Roxy is struck by the scale of loss and devastation. Despite the chaos, she learns of Rudeus's family and resolves to search for them. Driven by determination and duty, Roxy prepares herself for the long journey ahead, debarking on a path across the Bagarit continent and beyond. She steers her resolve toward finding Rudeus and bringing him news of their world. Her journey is the beginning of a new chapter, driven by hope, purpose, and the unwavering bond between mentor and student as she ventures into the unknown to reunite with those lost to the mystery of the vanished sky.